Hey, y'all. Welcome to Shade and the City.
Did you say hey ho to our family?
I said, hey, y'all.
Oh, I thought you said hey ho.
I would never call the Shade Squad hoes.
Look, you see, I was coming for you. Look, I was about to come for her for y'all, okay?
Anyway, welcome y'all to Shade in the City. I'm Treese.
It's No.
And thank you for following up with us, and welcome back to another review of 90 Day Fiance. I believe this is episode, do not get me lying. Oh, that's just
I didn't get it this time.
Oh, you didn't get it either. No, last time was 13, wasn't it? So this one, it is 14. It's 14. Aha.
That comes after 13.
Shut up. So yes, we are on episode 14. Please be sure, if you have not already, that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it, because it was interesting. It was an interesting episode. Let's get into it. Let's get shady. This episode off with Kobe and Emily. He is going to find a tux for the wedding. Emily and her dad are there with them. Emily is still keeping a secret that she's pregnant, and says she feels terribly, and there's a lot of tension. Emily says she's conflicted. She wants more kids, just not right now. You know what I'm saying? I get what she's saying, because he ain't got no job. That don't make sense. It don't make sense.
She's only a babysitter. Right.
So Kobe agrees, with him not working and living in her parents' house. This is obviously not an ideal situation. He feels that her dad is going to be really pissed off. She keeps reiterating that she doesn't want to tell them about the pregnancy until after the wedding. She feels it would add to the stress of things since they're already paying for it. So they said they've both been trying to play it cool, but it's stressful, and they've been bickering. What?
Or part of the reason she doesn't want to tell them is because she knows her daddy would be like, oh, well, fuck that. Let's take this money that we were planning to pay for the wedding to pay for this new child and get the things that this child needs, because 9 times out of 10, you're still going to need me for that.
Or he might say, let's get this for a down payment on your own place and you figure it out from there.
We both know they ain't
gonna that's not going to happen. I know. So as he's trying on the tux, Emily's dad is asking Kobe about his groomsmen who apparently are coming from out of town. Apparently he has friends
in Ohio.
Mm-hmm. His one friend, Temperature, is actually already in town. So he actually plans to go meet up with him that same night.
Yeah, apparently he's waiting for Pascal and Sam.
Right.
To come into town.
Look at you. That's what good sleep do to you.
Right.
You stupid.
Period.
So anyway, they're going to hang out. And then Emily's dad was like, I guess he thought it was, he was like, Temperature. He was like, where did he get his
I thought you were talking about the weather. Let me tell you something. Look, Kobe was like, what? Like,
what?
What's crazy? When I heard him say Temperature at first too, I didn't even write down a name because I was like, there's no way that's the name.
You're stupid.
I'm dead ass. And then when he said that, I was like, oh, let me go back and okay, that wasn't it.
That wasn't him. So Emily is upset. She was under the impression that they would be doing things for the wedding that night. She said, the wedding's a week away and things have been hectic. So she's a bit surprised that his friend would show up a few days early. Her dad asked we already talked about the name Temperature. Then Kobe isn't really sure. He said that's what everyone called him when they met him. They're just like, that was his name. And I was like, that's still very weird. But okay, we're gonna call him what he want to be called.
Maybe he's saying like because he's hot.
But you could be cold.
Caliente.
But you could be cold.
He could be.
You stupid.
He's ice cold.
Emily tells him, you're stupid. Right. Emily tells him to go take off his tux so he can get ready to go out while she plans a wedding by herself.
He's like, okay.
Right. He's like, of course, babe. Cool. So 4 hours later, we see Kobe getting dropped off at Temperature's hotel. They're very excited to see each other. He says Temperature is like a brother to him. And Kobe thanks him for coming. And you could just tell like his face lit up. It's like, oh
yeah, he said it feels like home, like being there with him. It feels like home.
And it's probably a relief seeing another Black face outside of your son. So Temperature asks how, right, Temperature asks how things are going. Kobe says Emily is wife material, but she has, can have a nasty attitude. She wants to control everything and feels like she thinks she's always right. Now, Temperature tells him that you have to understand that's America. He's like, I've been here for a while, brother. He's like, this is how they do it over here.
This is America.
Temperature explains that, like I said, the same way in Ohio, and men don't have a say so. And, it's like equal footing here, and women and men are the same. He feels that basically Kobe needs to step up and take control of his household. Well, first of all, he has to get a household, Temperature, but that part.
Hey. Ooh, Trace. Okay.
I'm just saying you can't be giving out bad advice to your friends when they ain't got
She's as cold as ice. God damn.
Check my temperature, bitch.
Right?
So he shares with Temperature that Emily is pregnant again. He has no money and he's living in their parents' home. Temperature tells him about Columbus and how there is an African community there, and he may fit in a little bit more and be more comfortable. Now, obviously, Kobe does not believe that Emily is going to move that far away from her parents.
His fiance.
And then Temperature points out again that you're giving her the right to make all the decisions.
Let me tell you exactly what he said. Temperature tells him the moment you start giving her the right to make decisions is when you start signing your death warrant.
Ooh.
America will be the worst place you could ever think of.
Wow. Well, Kobe says that this has awoken his African man spirit, and he wants to be the man that he used to be.
Of course, Thais and Patrick are still discussing letting her father know about the wedding. And she agreed. She'll call him and let him know. Patrick asked, hey, do you need me to support you? Talk to him, which she's like, no, I just need you to stay the fuck out of my way.
Right.
For God's sakes. Okay, just stay over there.
You've done enough.
Right? You forced me into this. Now, she says she's super nervous. But it really doesn't seem like Patrick gives two fucks because he's still forcing her to do it.
And continues to I just want to be there. I'll just be on to say hi and then I'll let you have your time. I was like, Patrick, don't you understand this girl don't want you here? And I think what it really was is he just wanted to listen in on a conversation to make sure that she told him and didn't punk out. I think that's what that was about.
You could be right. But she feels like he just doesn't get it. This is what was best for their relationship, and what was best for them was to keep this a secret because her daddy really don't fuck with him. She don't like him. Okay. So they sit down and call her dad on FaceTime, and they start off, with the small talk about the weather and how her clothes are inappropriate for this weather. She's freezing because she got little baby booty shorts on. And he's like, that's how your Brazilians dress. I'm glad you know, Daddy. I'm glad you know. So she lets her dad know that she has something to tell him. And she's like, Patrick, go. Look, nigga, since you here, since you here against my will, you go ahead. He's like, you do it. So, it's hard for her to get out. She says she's too nervous, but she finally does let him know that they'll be getting married in a month. Patrick goes in to explain the 90-day process, and the daddy don't seem thrilled at all. He like didn't say.
Her dad just looked and was like, he was like, huh?
So finally, Patrick does what he said he was going to do and leaves them alone and lets them speak privately.
As he goes ear hustles from the garage.
Yeah, he heard her side. He didn't hear his side, but yeah, he didn't go too far. He wasn't too far.
I was like, did he really hear her? Because did he hear the part where she was like, because I thought that was interesting, but I'll let you get into it.
So she explained to her dad the benefits of, them getting married right then and there, because she'll be able to get her green card and travel back.
That part. Did he hear that part?
What comes along with
I love him so much, Dad, and this is who I really want to be with. No, but dad, I can get my green card. If I was Patrick listening, I'd be like, you know what, sweetheart, don't even worry about telling your daddy. You can go back to Brazil.
Order in the court. Order in the court. So I think her dad knows that she loves him, but I think she was trying to explain the benefit of getting married now. Like, why so soon? And she was saying because she'll be able to travel back and forth to Brazil and she'll be able to work, you know, and basically, you know, do whatever it is she wants to do. Otherwise, she'd have to end the relationship because they only have the 90 days. Because remember, Patrick was explaining the 90-day process. So I think that's why she was saying, you know, the benefit of the green card, you know, or the benefit of getting married right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna let her have that. So he asked her.
Say you pulling through for her. You trying.
I mean, her lying ass, you know, she got to get some type of points, you know, some type of points. She finally told the truth. So he asked her how she has the audacity to stay there all this time and now tell him that she's getting married.
Say, for a different language, the vocabulary is the same. That's when he whipped out, when they said, oh, they put audacity on the screen, I said, oh, damn.
Yes, he did. So she says that she didn't know, you know, if she wanted to get married, and she feels like she should have told, like, he feels like, you know, she should have told him from the beginning. And he doesn't really think that she should get married. He says he doesn't like him, which she already knew. Right. Now, while Patrick is over in the garage, ear hustling, he sends John a text message and tells him to meet him there. He needs somebody to talk to, apparently, while he in there ear hustling.
Because now he over there shook.
Now that he know daddy don't like him. But really, Thais really could have been honest from the beginning and was like, you know, my dad really don't fuck with you. So because she's told us, okay, plenty of times, my daddy don't like him, okay? So she explained that she came over there for the 90 days to make sure she still wanted, you know, to get married and be with him. And they've been together for 2 years and engaged for 1. She's like, we were
in Mexico.
In Mexico. I told you, daddy. Like, you knew this was coming. Not secretly, but you knew it was coming.
Right.
So John is in the garage and he is definitely not making things better. Okay. He was like, yeah, he probably over there like,
it's about time that bitch said something.
He was like, he probably over there like, oh, he's an asshole who wants to marry my daughter without my consent.
Tried to deceive me.
Right? I said, God damn. You know what? You two motherfuckers, y'all just don't like each other. Right. John and Thais, they just don't like each other. Patrick says that he wanted to be able to explain how much he loves her. And he didn't feel like he got that chance. He didn't want, you know, the dad to think like, she was just like, you know, a little booty call. Just, hey, come over here, come fuck me and go back home. Hop your ass back on the plane. So Thais explains to her father that he'll get a chance to get to know him better.
Right.
And really see his true intentions. And his dad is like, no, I believe he's a deceiver. After what I've seen in the newspaper and in the news about Americans, it's not good. So he does not give a damn. He's like, you know, she's like, well, he does so much for me. He's like, yes, that's what people that want to conquer you do.
I was like, well, damn.
Yeah, he got a rebuttal for everything. He was like, you know, it's easy to get married, and it takes a lot to get divorced. And she says, he tells her
she's gonna fall on her face and she'll regret it later.
She says part of her agrees with her father, given Patrick's behavior lately. Now, I'm actually not surprised that she said that. And he tells her he thinks that she should come back to Brazil as soon as possible. And she's conflicted because part of her wants to go back, but, you know, of course, parts of her wants to stay. So.
All right. So we pop in on Shai and Blau. They're at home. Shai is leaving the house, going to a cafe that she found. And, you know, she's like, can you take me to that? Because I want to go talk. And apparently the kids are there. So can I just tell y'all, I don't know. Blau is like a thorn in my side every episode.
Jesus.
Like every time I feel like I want to give him a chance and feel like he may be like not narcissistic and maybe like a good guy. And he does something every episode that just continues to make me believe that narrative. unfortunately, that he's not a good person. So
he's not a good person.
He's not a good person. So now he says to her, he's like, oh, well, I'll just stop working and make money later.
You know what I like though?
She just shrugged it off and was like, whatever.
I think she's starting.
That is my issue. How many, you want to marry this man and you're already shrugging off shit that probably would get under your skin. Like, that's not going to stop.
I think this is who he is. He's shown that this is who he is. And I think
clearly why he's had issues being in a relationship.
Mm-hmm. And she's getting to learn.
I think he realizes he's an asshole. And that's why he wants a prenup, so he can feel like he can lock somebody in, because he ain't able to keep them any other way. A marriage is not enough. He has to put some type of contract on them to get them to stay. He just irritates me.
God damn, I wish I had my fan. Gee.
So they go to this cafe and
he out here trapping bitches. Jesus Christ.
Okay. So he goes to the cafe or they both go to the cafe to talk, and she lets him know that she sat down with a lawyer, and had him read over the prenup. And we see basically footage of her talking to the lawyer. And she's like, well, if I were your daughter, would you let your daughter sign this? And he's like, no. It's all in favor of Bilal. So she addresses that and basically says that I want to put some conditions in the prenup. So he's like, obviously open to hearing them, but he's like, okay. And then she's like, yeah, well, I feel like my yoga stuff, my brand, I want you to pay to help me start up my business. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that we'll have other businesses and things that we do together. However, the yoga is if we don't work out, you don't get none of that. That's mine. I'm taking it. That's it. And he has an issue with that. And I was just like, this is selfishness for me. So, Shy talks about how, she thought this was such a fairy tale coming here. And he's like, well, and, she's like, I don't know if it's American culture, but you know what I mean? Y'all
love, but everything is business is priority.
Right.
Like, well, fairy tales are not reality.
And he says that's infatuation. And that's not real love. Now, that's one thing I will give you, Bilal. However, the way you delivered it and the asshole way you delivered it, like you always do. I don't know. She keeps talking about how he's so romantic and he's such a good man. And I feel like every time we see them, he is shitting on her, but doing it with a bottle of sparkling apple cider to make it look good. Like, what the fuck?
So I don't know if it's because I'm not going to call myself an asshole, but I know I have some asshole tendencies. Mm-hmm. Okay. I didn't feel like what he said was that bad. If I'm reiterating to you constantly that, and I'm not saying what he's saying is correct. I'm not saying what he's saying is right, but if I'm reiterating the same thing over and over and over to you,
I clearly feel strongly about it.
However I delivered it before is not getting through to you. So I'm going to have to change my delivery. So when you say, okay, to me, it's like a fairy tale. I came here thinking like a fairy tale, like Cinderella story. I can't.
I told you that's not what it is.
Exactly. I can't feed into that. I can't feed into that with you. I have to.
And honestly, Shade Squad, she is like that. It's only so many times she's going to say something before her tone changes and her whole delivery changes because she gets aggravated.
I was trying to be nice initially and say it a nice way, but if I have to keep on explaining it to you, now I have to tell you like, oh, that's not reality. I have to just say it blatantly. That's not reality. This is the world we live in. And this is a business. And I don't want you taking me for everything I got. So.
Okay. So what are your feelings on her having her yoga studio to herself, or her yoga business or her brand to herself, and her just being able to collect on that? I didn't think that was an unfair compromise.
Initially when she said it, and he explained it back to her, it was like he was trying to make her understand what she was asking for. And she was clear on what she was asking for. She said, I want you
to fund. Yeah, she wants
fund my business.
Mm-hmm.
If we break up, then this is all mine. Okay. Now, in a normal situation, that could be iffy, right? But I know guys do it even without being married.
I was gonna say, right.
Men do it all the fucking time. They do it without even
It's
you
an
being their
investment
wife.
in her.
For herself, for you to boss up, because I want you to boss up.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because if she's doing better, even if y'all are together or not, I wouldn't. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I was like, oh, Shad, that's a nice little, like, let's get off the kids. You see, she ain't really focused on the kids because she knew she probably was gonna get that. But I was like, okay, that's a great way to work it in, and you're protecting yourself.
And I like that it didn't seem like it really fazed him, but I like that she explained why she wants it that way. Because he's like, you realize like what you're asking me. You're asking me to fund all of this, and then you have it all. And she's like, well, I did make the sacrifice of letting go of my business and letting go of the things that are bringing me in income.
She said, this is my real estate, bitch.
To come over here to be with you. And you're basically telling me that whatever I build or whatever we build is for the both of us. So even though he didn't seem to be moved by what she said, I felt like when she broke it down, I felt like he should have been. I felt like he should have been moved. And I felt like, I don't think she's asking for anything unfair. At the end of the day, she is your wife. And that's what you're supposed to do.
Right. And then she asked him, well, if, you know, the conditions are put in the prenup, are you going to sign? And, you know, blah, I don't know.
He said, I'll consider it. I mean, it's further along than, you know, because, you know, if he wanted to say no, he would say no.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, it's better than, just like her, he needs some time to think on it. So, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. So Mohammed and Eve, they still at it, y'all. They, you know, he in the doghouse. Well, I don't know who the hell is in the doghouse. They just going at it.
Eve is in the doghouse.
Eve is the one in the doghouse. I don't know, because he the one that apologized. I don't know, because he the one that apologized.
You think he apologized?
He did apologize. He's the one that apologized.
Did he ever say, I'm sorry?
I thought, yes, he did.
I see, my notes say, I was really mad and upset, and because I thought you weren't doing such and such and such, but I never actually heard him say, I'm sorry. She said, can we have a better day? And he said, we'll try, or I hope so. I never actually heard him say, I'm sorry to her.
I don't know. Look, maybe I thought.
I mean, maybe I don't get me wrong. I could see how you could take it as an apology, but because I literally was listening for it, and I was like, is he going to say I'm sorry? And I was like, so you still feel you're right?
I still feel he's right.
No, but I'm just saying, he doesn't give me the type to apologize for some shit that he doesn't feel like he did wrong, is what I'm saying. He might try to smooth some stuff over, but he's not apologizing. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct me, Shade Squad. Did Mohammed apologize? I didn't catch it.
I don't know. Well, I know Eve, of course, you know, she wants to reiterate that it really hurt her feelings that Mohammed doesn't care how important a ceremony is to her. And, you know, she says she didn't mean to delay the wedding. It's out of her control. Once again, he explains that he just felt like it could be done sooner. And, you know, they have time to do a ceremony. So this narrative that she keeps on trying to spin that he doesn't care. No, ma'am, it's just not priority. There's, since you have to wait to do that, there's shit you can do right now in the process. He's not saying that he doesn't want to do the ceremony. That shit just aggravates me with that shit. So then a couple hours later, she goes to work. Tatiana comes by. Apparently she does this anytime she has an issue with her body. I don't know what the hell is wrong with her body, but she decides to get a cupping procedure to help whatever the issue is.
Do you see the marks on her skin? I said, why is that therapeutic in any way?
Oh, cupping, that shit, I never actually got it, but I know people that got it. Supposedly it hurts and it does leave marks and it stays there for a little while. But apparently once you take them off, like it helps. I don't know, with whatever the hell you need help with. Don't ask me. Okay. So of course, while she's getting the cupping procedure, she asks her like, how was the venue? How's the wedding planning going? And Eve says that she liked the venue. She was in love. And of
And she's
course,
like, well, what did Mohammed think?
he was quiet the entire time. He didn't give two fucks. And she says that she got upset because Mohammed didn't feel like she was taking things seriously, as far as getting things accomplished, and says that he completely freaked out and said he was going to get another sponsor. Why are you telling your homegirl this, first of all? Because that's not
and Tati looks up at her and she's like, but bitch, what? She got the cups on her and everything.
That is not
like,
even how the thing. Yeah, she moved her hand. She was like, what? And any friend would react that way.
I was thinking that same thing. I was like, why did you tell her that?
And
you know they already don't like him. Why
not even that. No, why did you tell him that? That's not even how shit went down. She has this whole narrative that he just doesn't want to do the ceremony.
And then basically Tati says, well, if it takes a full 90 days to see he's a jackass, then so be it, basically. And I said, well, Eve says she believes that he didn't mean it. He was just angry. And she said, even though it stung, she still wants to move forward and consider his feelings.
Since he apologized, I have it in my notes. She said it is like, it still hurts, it's pretty raw, but she's trying to move past it and understand since he did apologize.
I think it was a bullshit apology.
But you think she took it as an apology?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think she believed the narrative that it was an apology, just like you did. And don't get me wrong, I'm literally not that team Mohammed but I literally did not hear that. I seriously
did not. Somebody tell us, did he apologize or not?
Please. I do not think that he was sorry. And
let me know if he says sorry. So she also lets Tati know that he said he was gonna get another sponsor, girl. She was like, what? Like, you replaceable? Like what the fuck he mean? He gonna just get another sponsor? Let me say something. And I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad at Tati. Any friend is going to react this way because you ain't telling the whole goddamn story, ma'am. So Eve says, she would like for all of them to come get together again. And Tatiana's like, oh, okay, well, I'm not sure Mohammed wants that.
And Eve I felt like he lies to her and tries to make her feel like, oh, well, no, and I don't want any tension between everybody, and I just want everybody to get along. And
like, who is his least favorite? Who he don't like the most?
Right.
So basically, Eve says it would be detrimental to their relationship if he cannot accept the squad, because she's not willing to get rid of them. That's her squad, girl. That's her squad.
Okay. Ariella is at home making wedding plans, and she said she's feeling very anxious. There's no way to postpone the wedding, so they're moving forward with wedding planning, although they're not sure they'll get married. I was like, so you're going out and buying dresses and you don't know if you're gonna use it, but okay. So
that's what it do when you got parents that got bread and can pay your rent and pay for your wedding and pay for your dress and pay for your living,
Because I'd be like, no, I need to make sure this is for real.
That's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. So she goes with her mom and sister to try on dresses. We see her calling Leandro, hoping he could fly in to be there for the wedding. He says he really wants to come, but he doesn't think it's possible. Oh, sorry, we'll miss you, Leandro. They're getting married I believe they're getting married in a synagogue. Just based off the way that it looked.
Don't give me
but they're still representing Benny, apparently, like their altar or has like his scarf and his Ethiopian flag or cloth. So I thought that was dope. She says they're going through the motions, but she's not sure they're getting married. We've said that. Now Benny is at home. Can I just tell you?
Right, I know what you're about to say. No. He made those pants. He didn't hem shit.
Right.
He made those, and he made them with creases in them. In them.
Right.
Did they have pockets? Did they have pockets?
I think they did.
Let me tell you something.
Benny is really a jack of all trades. Like once Benny can get a job, she better be scared. Because that motherfucker can go do anything and he's about his money.
Let me tell listen, I know how to sew, but like, like sewing, like, home ec type sewing, like what you learned in home ec, like,
Even I was bad at that. My pillow fell apart.
I did the pillow, I did the bear, I did the pants where you make the pants, but like, no, he like did creases, pockets. Benny got it. He's a real one.
He is. I love it. I love the scene. I was like, okay, Benny. So basically,
and they fit his son perfectly.
It was super adorable. And we basically see him, playing around with Avi as Ari comes back home, and it's just like super awkward between them, obviously. And she's just like, well, I really don't know. And hold on. She says he's such a great dad to Avi. And that's basically why she's decided to stick this out so long. And so, yeah, she's like, oh, he's going to look great in his pants for the wedding. And she likes the pants that he made him. What I thought was super cute was Avi was playing with his little bow ties or whatever. And she goes to put one on, like, how do I look? And he's like, because I have a son. I want it back. That's not for you. That's not. I was like, I can appreciate that. But I thought the cutest part of the scene was when Avi is like pushing their heads together, trying to make them kiss. And, obviously he loves seeing his parents together. But I think what we're realizing is that Avi and Benny are about to get married and probably stay together for this baby. Because they've told us multiple times they don't know why they're together. As Benny's words, he said they're like the earth and sky.
The earth. Yeah.
Yeah. What he meant to say, yin and yang.
But he also has the cultural difference, the religion difference. Right. They have a lot of,
a lot of things, unfortunately, working against them.
Guillermo calls his mother, Roxana, on FaceTime to discuss the wedding the next day.
She is on one today, people.
That's what that sleep do.
Right?
Period.
Stupid.
So he says, he is anxious and nervous. He says after his conversation with Carrie yesterday, things were off. So he wants to have a conversation with his mama. Now that's who you're supposed to be talking to, not the barber. Okay. But you know what? I'll give you
he had good advice. She said
we need people that know both parties. It wasn't about the advice.
Okay.
What?
Kara is a bit much.
She is, but her mama, at least the mama know her.
Okay.
And she know her son.
That's why her friend's gonna tell her the same shit Guillermo will be trying to tell her at the end of the episode. But go ahead.
Listen.
And they know her. They're on her side.
Like she said, she is who she is. The barber don't know her. Kizzy don't know her. Okay. So, he wants to speak to his mother to get her advice, and he tells her all the wedding planning and everything is going great. But says that, he had a conversation with his barber who gave him some advice about Kara, because he explained to the barber that, she's controlling and she constantly tells him no about things. And she told him that, it's better to talk to her ahead of time about these things rather than wait till you get married, because nobody's going to change after marriage. And his mother says, of course, it's best to speak before the wedding, but there'll still be conversations to be had, after the marriage.
Right.
And he says, when he brought it up to Kara, she was super bothered, like immediately, and it made her feel unsure that, he was ready to get married. Now, she tells him that doubts are normal. And, like Kara's a very happy and free spirit. And he's like, yeah, she's wild. Like Mama used to say. And you have to let her be, And same for you, like, just, and says marriage is not a prison. This is something you both mutually want. And apparently, she made him feel 10 times better, because now his ass is ready to walk down that aisle.
Right. All right, Guillermo. That's all he needed. So here we have.
Now, this is Teresa's favorite.
Yes, it is. Jabri and Miona are at home, y'all. When Brian
I want
comes
to know what
back,
game they was playing.
oh, I wasn't paying
They was
attention.
playing some card game. I don't know what it was.
So Brian comes down and asks them both to, or it comes up, or I don't know. But basically, they want to have a conversation. So Jabri says he feels like he's getting grounded and like he's 15 years old again. So now you wouldn't feel that way if you wasn't in your parents' house. But anyway.
Right.
So Miona says seeing them sitting there on the couch made her feel like they were about to be grounded as well. Now, Brian says, you guys have been here for a few months, and what are your plans for moving out? So Jabri says, so you're kicking us out? And Mahala says, look, in her nice therapeutic voice, we've talked about this before. Even before Miona got here, and we said that you would only be here for a couple months. And he's like, well, yeah, but I meant like, after we got married toward the end of the year, and the end of the year
and apparently next month. He's like, I still got one more month.
And they're like, and I think what Mahala was trying to say was, that's fine, but I need you to be out in a month.
Yeah, she's like,
I need you to have a plan. And he can't say, he's like, well, we just need a little bit more time. And then she's like, well, even with the wedding, she's like, the reason why we can't come to the wedding, even though I would love to be there, I can't make a plan because I don't know what you're doing. And they're like, where are you getting married? And they're like, we don't know.
When are you getting married?
We don't know.
He gets kind of defensive and like, oh, that we didn't have time to plan. She's like, I get that you had to go through the process, but you knew she was coming.
Right.
But you had time before she got here to do this. And technically that's before really you was even funding her lifestyle. So she's 100% right.
So Jabri feels his parents is on some bullshit, but Jabri, I rock with you, but I'm gonna have to call you out on this one, bro. You definitely acted like an entitled child in this scene. And that's why Miona just sit there and shut up, because she knew you was wrong as hell too. Now
Miona happy as hell. This is what she wanted.
Miona's like, yes, I got what I wanted. Kick us out. And
she feels bad for him, but she wanted to leave. She's like, this is probably the only way we'd have been able to go.
Miona said that to their ass sleeping on the side of the road and trying to thug it out because they in love.
At the end of the day, Miona has somewhere to go back to.
Right.
That's why she don't give a fuck.
But she has to get back there. With what ticket? With what money?
I'm sure her parents will pay for it.
So anyway, he feels they're not helping and not being supportive. And Mahala says it goes back to plans. It's not personal, sweetheart. So then as he's getting upset and he's like, well, I just felt like you guys could have helped us a little bit more. And Brian was like, bruh, you're 28 years old.
You're an adult and this is your wedding.
Right.
I said, oh, Brian. Okay.
And Brian says in the confessional, they learned early on, they had to set firm boundaries with Jabri. Because if you give him an inch, that would take a whole mile, the green mile. Okay. And yeah, they're not going for it. So
Jabri's little crybaby ass is like, oh, well, I'll be out before then and we're gonna pack our stuff. I was like, you are really doing this on camera.
Right. That's why I said he was acting like a brat. He was acting like a real brat. And then
he's like, I feel like I'm 15 years old. And Brian was like, well, you acting like you're 15.
And then Jabri walks off and as Miona's like, oh, I'm just gonna go be supportive. And Brian's like, well, if you ever need help from us, you can reach out. And Jabri's like, yeah, right. Like you really were acting like
I was talking to her, not you. Eve is meeting Mohammed at a coffee shop. She drove and
apparently that is the place to be this episode.
I like to get my coffee and go. I ain't hanging around.
Yeah, I don't like to sit in there.
Yeah, she says she needs a break though. So Eve tells Mohammed that, since the wedding is right around the corner, she thought it would be a good idea to have everyone get together since it was such a tumultuous meeting the first time.
Mohammed has no interest in doing that.
Absolutely not.
He's like, you didn't understand when I said I didn't like them the first time.
She's like that she wants to have a fire ceremony and expose him to, some of the work that she does. she wants to teach him her beliefs and says, she made the compromise of going to the mosque and, learning his religion and everything that he believes in. And Muhammad is just really just focused on the fact that she wants him around the friends. And he's like, why are you forcing me?
Right. He's like, I'm not interested in seeing the squad again.
She said that she's asking him to do it for her and would appreciate if he would be open. He said, I'm open that I don't like them. Muhammad!
Living your truth, brother.
Damn.
I love it. I'm telling y'all, Muhammad is my outlook.
He's my favorite. He's for sure my favorite.
I was gonna say, I think he done beat Jabri and Miona.
He says that he wants to remind her that, they were very disrespectful to him. And she says, well, she's stuck in the middle and they both mean a lot to her. He was like, look, I'm gonna be very clear. If ain't nobody gonna interrogate me no more.
Right.
Okay. And she says, I'm just asking you to experience some of the things that I do with friends. And he says, this just sounds crazy.
Oh my God. All right. So Guillermo, walks in and he's like asking Kara how she's feeling. Obviously, the vibe has been a little bit off.
Like, what you talking to me for?
Right. And she's still, unsure whether he wants to get married. Guillermo apologizes to her and says he didn't mean to make her feel insecure. He said that he had questions and he feels like that's a total normal thing. Now she's just like, okay, a normal question is, what is the schedule for tomorrow? Not questioning me about my lushness. Okay. So, she felt some type of way. Now she wants to feel confident that he's going to show up, and he lets her know he will. She says she forgives him and feels like he should accept her as she is. Kara plans on having her girls over, and they're going to do a little bachelorette situation pajama party, which is super cute. So they can relax. She can drink as much as she wants and just pass out at home. Mm-hmm. So she lets him know you can't come down, come upstairs, downstairs, wherever these houses. But stay wherever you at, stay out my way. So he's like, okay, fine. Now he basically asked her, he's like, okay, yo, chill on the alcohol consumption. You know what I mean? We gotta get married tomorrow. I don't need you being totally blasted. So we see her girls arrive and she's having, a little pajama party. Tim shows up to the party. And then, Guillermo's just downstairs playing with a Cheeky.
I forgot that damn dog's name. Look at you.
So she asked her friends, by a show of vocals, who thought I would get married? And that mother is silent. Literally, my notes, you could hear a pin drop. It was crazy. Uh-huh. And so she brings it, and they quickly move over from there. So because clearly her friends didn't want to be shady. So we can't be your friends, Kara. Mm-hmm. So she brings up the dinner with Guillermo. I don't know why she decided to do this, but you know what it is? I think that she knows her. And I think she knows she has some issues, and her friends know she has some issues. So it don't matter, because at the end of the day, they know she got some shit with her.
So whatever she explains, they're gonna be like, damn, what you do?
Right. They're not gonna think what did he do? How could he say that? Mm-hmm. No, they were all like, no, but you're kind of fucked up. Mm-hmm. So, and her one friend, I forgot her name. She was
Camille.
Is that her name, Camille?
That's what I wrote down.
Her one friend that was there at the previous outing that they went out for lunch was there. The one that was asking all the good questions.
Or at least her necklace said Camille.
Oh, well, she's Camille today. So now she says, she tells them about the whole dinner, and they're like, well, what did you say? And she's like, I just feel like he wants me to change. And, I'm going to be editing that up. So one of her girlfriends says well, you're assertive, and, grandma's going to have to learn, or they say off camera that he's going to have to learn to put his foot down when he needs to with her. So basically all her friends agree that, he kind of just wants a little security. And she even admits, I would be scared marrying me. Well, if that ain't a red flag, I don't know what is.
No. That says it all.
And she just feels that he's up in arms because of the pressure of the wedding. I said, okay, you keep believing that, sweetheart.
So Emily said, that they have a lot going on. But the family are going out to lunch, and they decided it was a good idea to invite Temperature because that's Kobe's best friend and his best man. And she wanted to get to know the friends. Okay.
Right.
Good thinking. So Temperature gets there, he greets everybody. He even gets a high five from
Coben.
How the hell did I forget that name after loving Fifth Element? I don't know what the hell wrong with me. So Emily asked, so did you ever think you'll be here? He's like, yeah. I don't know why. Like, I was okay, whatever.
And she asked him how he likes it. And he's like, it's right here.
Yeah. And he's like, well, not here. Like,
right, not here in Salinas. But in America. He was like, this is the thing to do. This is the best place to be.
Everybody started laughing. So Temperature says he likes Ohio. There's a huge African community. And Emily kind of chuckled. She's like, well, not here. We ain't got that.
Right.
Like, God damn. So the waitress comes around and takes the order. Emily puts in her order, and then she puts in Kobe's order. Temperature's like, damn, like,
she orders your food.
He orders your food for you. I already knew the shit was going downhill from there. Okay.
Right.
And Kobe said she
needs to learn how to respect.
Kobe said she wants to do almost everything. Okay. So Temperature says this is the first time meeting Emily, and after seeing how they interact, he feels that they've been living the American lifestyle because Emily is the boss. Gross. He says it would be a pleasure to see them together, but he believes that his job is just to pitch to his wife what she's supposed to do.
You're losing us. You're losing us. It's real cold in this bitch.
Temperature then tells Emily, as an African man, they need a lot of respect from their ladies. And she's like, I'll give him a lot of respect. He said, oh, you think
you
so?
do? I said, if that wasn't shade.
And then he says, he's from a royal family, right? Let me say something. Everything else went out the window. Okay.
Right. Because they're like,
all,
what?
All Emily heard was royal family.
Like when you should have seen Emily's face, she was like, I got a whole prince.
Right.
What? That bitch thought she had just came into some money.
Oh my God. And he goes to tell her that, back in Cameroon, he has people that, he's supposed to be governing, and it would be your duty to go there and stay there with him. Now, Emily don't give two shits about what the hell he's talking about, okay? All she wants to know is if they got a castle to stay in, if they got money. She just want to know, how does this royal family play into what we got going on?
Okay. Because right now, we hurting. Right. With my daddy.
So then Kobe explains that it's not really like that. He says in Cameroon, they have like 200 tribes, and each tribe has a chief from a royal family. And I guess that's what his father was. He explained that his father is of a royal family, but he's not doing none of that. He's living his life and doing what he wants to do.
And
Emily kind of gave him
earlier in the season that him and his dad's relationship wasn't like the best.
But Emily like kind of gave him a look like, nigga, so why am I fucking with you instead of your daddy? Like, so she's like, she feeling like she don't really know him, because she's like, damn, after 2 years, you ain't never mentioned.
He never decided to slip that in. The
royalty, Negro. And she
maybe he was coming to America to see if you really loved him,
right? So she wants to clarify. She's like, so there's like no money and no kingdom to go rule, right? Mm-hmm. And Temperature says, I'm just trying to make you understand that Kobe has the final say. You're marrying an African man, not an American man, and he is the head of the family, meaning you belong to him.
And Emily's mama is like,
no. Daddy jokes first. It says, I see why you ain't married.
Right.
And then, yes, Madeline, the mother, says, well, I'm sorry, Madeline, the sister, says that's interesting because Kobe's never expressed, this like on that level. We know how Kobe feels about shit like that, but not really like that. Now, her mom explains that, yes, that's true. She is marrying an African man, but he's also marrying an American woman. And that's some shit that they're going to have to work out. He says he just is trying to make it clear that before they sign any paperwork, and, she know what she getting herself into because of the American culture here, the women are controlling and they think that they're at the top. And Madeline was like, hold up, that's not fair. To
right.
just group.
Look at you getting her that 3 times the charm, y'all.
You late. Okay. So she was like, it's not fair to just generalize.
That's a compliment.
Everyone. And he's like, no, you're absolutely wrong. And Emily says this is pissing her off, but she's a little bit worried because she feels like she did see some of these behaviors in Kobe previously and is wondering if this shit is really going to come out once they get married. So she asked him, which I'm glad she did. And he says in our culture, like he does agree that the man is always on top, but we have respect in our relationship and we'll be equal, but the man is always on top. I was like, well, I mean, I get what you're saying, but you still kind of said the same shit.
Right.
So Eve and Mohammed are getting ready for their fire ceremony. Now, this is something Eve is super familiar with because it's commonly used in her Native American culture to cleanse and purify, and to let go of negative energy. Okay. Now, Eve says she's hoping that Mohammed and the friends, the squad, will turn over a new leaf. Okay. After what the hell she's got going on. And Mohammed says, that he will be nice if they're nice, but if they try to attack, he is going to defend himself.
And as we know, he will.
We believe you, Mohammed. So
and he'll do it so calmly too. Go fuck yourself.
Basically. And it sounds so nice that way.
Right.
So her friends get there and, she's given instructions to blow into the stick. And apparently this is like a ceremony about manifesting. Mohammed said he doesn't know what they're doing. He is just watching and he feels like he is in a movie.
Okay? He said he's not here for it.
He's not okay with Eve's beliefs. He
said if she wants something, just go ask God.
Yes. He was like, I'm not okay with Eve's beliefs. And
he said this fire's not doing
right. Why
wishes coming out the fire?
Ask the Lord.
Right.
He says he is just completely against this. Now, Tati says that she's glad that they could come together and grow. But she was worried that Mohammed didn't like them anymore. And he said, that's right. And she said,
that's right.
And she started laughing. She said, what's right? You don't like us? He said, no.
And the way he did it with the big ass smile.
That's what I'm saying. It's so nice, but it wasn't. I loved it.
If that ain't passive aggressive for your ass.
He explained that he felt judged, and that's why he was mad at every one of them. Now, she says that, she was really just asking questions, like, because, they want to protect their friend. And he's like, yeah, but you was being like an investigator. Like, you was doing the most. Okay.
You were doing the most, Tati.
Eve kind of breaks it up and she's like, let's not fight. Tati asked what he thought about the fire ceremony. And he says it's something he never experienced, but he can use it to warm his hands.
And you can tell Eve is a little bit hurt by this.
No, he still said, and everything is like too weird to him. Eve is frustrated that he's not taking her belief system seriously. And, and because she feels like she makes compromises for him. Ciao, bye.
As we know, Thais' father told her to bring her ass home and basically tells her to think twice before getting married.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick goes to check on her and John said, he's happy she said something. And, Patrick is as well, but he realizes that this is not what he planned for.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't understand why her father wouldn't be happy that she has someone that wants to love and take care of her just as much as he does. Thais is confused after the conversation with her dad. He asks, like, how did it go? And she tells him, like, look, my dad doesn't want us to get married. Patrick is clearly upset. And then
wants me to come home.
Right. And then she adds the other layer to the cake. And he doesn't think you're a good person. I was like, well, damn, he doesn't like you. And, John is like really taken aback now. And then she's like, I'm sorry. But you know what, though?
Wait, John wasn't out there, was he?
Not John. I'm sorry, Patrick.
Oh, Patrick.
Yeah. But yeah, Patrick is obviously really like caught off guard and taken aback.
He had no idea. He said he had no idea that her dad didn't like him.
And so he's like, well, did you defend me? And she's like, of course I did. And he wants to, Patrick, he's like, how can I make this better? Like, especially before the wedding. And she's basically like, there's nothing you can do to make it better. So Patrick's like, damn, this is worse than what he thought it would be. And Thais says she did think about going back to Brazil. He, was like, well, how are you feeling right now? And she basically breaks down. And in the confessional, she tells us that a part of her wants to go back to Brazil, but doesn't want to break Patrick's heart. So she asked him if he would be upset if she went back. And, she's like, I miss my life in Brazil. I miss my father. I miss my family. And Patrick is so confused. He's not really sure how to feel.
Yeah. He doesn't know if he wants to console her or if he's mad or sad.
And he's like, this is the first time he's ever seen her cry since they've been together. So he's like, he basically tells her, like, I want you to stay here. I can't imagine life without you. And basically that he'd do anything to be with her. So, and that's where they ended, y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in to another review of 90 Day Fiance episode 14. Please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that comment button.
And subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
Thank you. And please make sure that you are following us on all platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all that lovely fun stuff. We appreciate you guys. We thank you so much for continuing to keep us growing. And we will catch you next week for another review of 90 Day Fiance.
Nice. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Front, back, side to side. Make sure you go like and subscribe. Hey!